Epic Mealtime online cooking show. We got the bottle of Jack and we're ready to go. No, just kidding. It's actually not. It's Fighting Fire with Fire, the AJ Rose Show. Now, I'm sorry for that intro. I had to indulge because you usually don't get the chance to have a whole bottle of Jack Daniels with you. But anyway, today I want to talk about the beginning of the NBA season, and then I want to talk a tiny bit about Week 17 in the NFL, some of the matchups that are going to seal in the final playoff spots for the AFC and NFC. Beginning with the NBA. Two of the veteran teams, the Celtics, my beloved Celtics, and the Mavericks are both 0-3. The Mavericks lost on a buzzer beater to Kevin Durant and the Thunder the other night. The Celtics, without Paul Pierce for the first 3 games, lost their opening games to the Knicks and Heat, very close, and then got blown out by the Hornets on the second night of a back-to-back in New Orleans. They have their home opener against Detroit tonight. They're definitely going to win that game, I guarantee it. They can't go 0-4, especially not in a 66-game season. However, I think we can eliminate the Celtics as a title contender because Jeff Green had an aortic aneurysm, and they were not able to sign David West, and I think that if that Chris Paul trade, the original one, had gone through and he had gone to the Lakers, the Celtics would have been able to sign David West because the Hornets wouldn't have been distracted with where Chris Paul's going, so they could focus on their next best player, David West, and where he's going to go and whether it's a trade or stuff. The Heat have shown incredible, they almost lost to the Bobcats the other night. But that was the second night of a back-to-back. So already the condensed schedule is playing a role in the NBA, which means that, again, the younger teams with more players and, teams who go 10, 11 guys deep are going to be able to be more successful. That means the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I don't think have won a game yet, but I still predicted them to go to the playoffs. I'm sticking by it until the very end. I think that the Thunder have to be the favorites in the West because they're so young and they're so fast. You got Durant, Westbrook, and I think that the argument and the fact that that got attention on ESPN.com a couple days ago, can Westbrook and Durant get along together? I think they can. I think they're going to make this adversity and this buzz make it focus them and bring them closer together. They're so good. The two of them are really, really good. Westbrook isn't a pure point guard because he looks for a shot more than most point guards do, but he's an excellent scorer, outstanding athlete, and Durant is one of the best scorers. He might be the best pure scorer since Jordan, with the exception of Kobe when Kobe was really in his prime with the Lakers. In the East, the Knicks have gotten trounced their last couple games, and I don't think they can possibly come out of the East unless Baron Davis comes up and really shows up in shape, but that remains to be seen. The Heat, I think, are going to win. I don't see any way they lose unless the Bulls really just come back with a head of steam and Boozer has a recovering year. Now, last year, Boozer injured his thumb before the season started, and then when he came back, Joakim Noah was injured. So not only was he injured, but he didn't have time to mesh with the proper team, and then he lost his confidence, and then he played very poorly in the playoffs. I think he's too good a player. He'll turn it around, and they'll be better. And like I said before, Rip Hamilton's a really good signing for them. But is it enough to beat the Heat the way that LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh are playing? Not to mention they got this new guy, Norris Cole from Cleveland State. Excuse me. He was the reason the Celtics lost to the Heat the other night. He had 20 points. He was totally unafraid, hit a couple huge jumpers late in the fourth quarter. So I hope he gets injured or something, because if the Heat have like a fourth guy they can go to, just forget about it. It was already done anyway, but God. And now we're going to talk a little bit about NFL Week 17. The biggest game, obviously, is the Giants and the Cowboys in the Meadowlands for the NFC East title. I don't really much care who wins the game because neither of those teams, I think, can get hot enough to beat the Saints and or Packers. But I think the Giants win the game because they're at home, and I trust Eli Manning in the fourth quarter and late in the season more than I do Tony Romo. But really, I can't say for sure because both those teams have choked so many games this year, and they're so up and down and inconsistent. The other game I want to keep an eye out for is the Patriots-Bills game, obviously because I'm a biased Patriots fan, and I want them to get the number 1 seed. You want to pay attention to the Ravens and Steelers games because they're trying to get the number 2 seed. The difference between those two teams is this much, but yet one of them's going to have the 2 seed and one of them's going to have the 5 seed. So we're going to see. The Ravens control their own destiny, but they're playing the Bengals, a team that needs to win in order to secure a playoff spot, and if they lose, they could be out. And the Bengals actually could surprise some people because they've got Andy Dalton, who's a solid quarterback. They've got a really good defense, and they've got A.J. Green. I mean, they could totally beat the winner of the AFC West in the first round. Could they beat the Texans? Absolutely. Could they beat the Raiders or Broncos? Absolutely. So maybe we'll see them in the Elite Eight. Who knows? But it's going to be very exciting, and obviously I'll have a review for you on Monday. This video has dragged on a little long. I'm sorry. I'm a little ranty. It's been fun. I'm down here in Boca Raton, Florida. But like I said before, we're ready to go, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy New Year. I'll try and make a video tomorrow, but don't get your too much hopes up. So for 2011 and for Fighting Fire with Fire, the AJ Rose Show, this is AJ Rose saying so long.